My name is Kathy, and today I'm going to talk to you about my Envision 2023 experience. So Envision Festival is known as a conscious music festival, and they have like 5 stages. It's a 1-week long event, typically at the end of February, early March. And for me, I went there on a work exchange. So then I went by myself. I met up with another 300 people who are part of the work exchange, and we got to know each other through our work teams, right? And I think that made such a big difference because getting ready and leading up to the event, there was like a WhatsApp group chat that helped us all get ready and just really had people like introduce themselves, like where they're from. When you're getting ready with people and connect with them to set up like, hey, you're gonna be on the same work team together, you're gonna maybe have an Airbnb together, like that just makes a whole difference because you don't feel like you're alone anymore, okay? Number 2, I like camping, but if you want to camp for 7 days, that is another experience, okay? So you can choose to camp at the site for the full 7 days, and there's like general camping, which is in like the main area, or VIP camping, which is like a little bit to the side, so then it's a little bit more private. If I did camp, I'd probably do the VIP area because I had a camp set up in the work exchange area, but I only used it to like nap during the day, and even then it was still loud. I could still hear music from the stages, and I was like, I'm so glad I had an Airbnb with air conditioning that was only about 10 minutes away. Having said that, Airbnbs and hostels, they fill up fairly quickly, but people cancel here and there, so you can just look around to see what's available. So I'd really recommend, like, if you like comfort, like physical comfort, you can have something in town and have something on site as well, right? So somewhere you can take a nap during the day or kind of go in between events and have like your safe space, okay? Next, getting from town to the festival, they have like official taxis that run from the festival, and it costs like $10 USD, which is like super expensive, like for a 10-minute drive, okay? But that's just the way it is during the festival, right? But then there's like pirate taxis where it's really just locals with their car. They're like all they know is like taxi, and you're like, yeah, sure, and it costs like around $5 US, so not too bad if you're just going by yourself. You can always split the fares with people, right? It is a risk because you're getting in a car with like random strangers, but for me, I'm like, it's a 10-minute drive. Check in with yourself, check the vibe, right? And be like, hey, do I want to save a little bit of money or take the official taxi, okay? So next, for food, you can buy things like on site, which gets fairly expensive. It's like anywhere from $10 to $15 US per meal. You can also buy things in town. They have a couple of grocery stores. You can buy like fruits, vegetables, a couple of bread and peanut butter things, right, to keep with you during the day. So that is an option. Another option is they have vendors on the beach. So I don't think the festival is too much of a fan of this because you can get skewers and stuff for like a couple of dollars and fruits for a couple of dollars on the beach. They do overcharge you, and there's always the risk of like food safety, but that is an option. I never had any issues, but again, go at your own risk, okay? And they also have coconuts on the beach, which is amazing. Anyways, okay? Next, the beach. The beach is probably one of my most favorite parts of the festival because just the warm water, the fresh waves, and just you can go really deep into the water. At orientation, they told us there's like stingrays, but I never had any issues. I never heard anyone else have any issues, but for safety, they're like, okay, shuffle your feet along the water just in case that there's stingrays. Anyways, the waves are awesome. People are surfing, people are playing in the water, and it's fairly hot during the day. So walking on sand at 30 degrees, like you're gonna burn your feet, okay? So just wear sandals. But in the afternoon, around 4 or 5, it cools off, and this is where the beach fills up with people, with vendors. There's gonna be a lot of random people doing fire dancing, yoga, and a lot of people taking photos, right? The sunset photos are gorgeous. And because the beach is open to everyone, always be careful of your valuables. So go with people that you can trust, or find some people that you know you can leave your stuff with while you go swim in the water, okay? But yeah, the water. So the festival grounds themselves, they have 5 music stages. So one stage will have live music, another stage will have electronic kind of dance music, another one more heavier jungle music. So it kind of varies, right? So you can check those out. So outside of the music stages, they'll have places where you can do yoga at like Templo de las Estrellas. Women gather at the red tent, or there's a place called Earth Temple or Sacred Fire. So these are all different spaces where people can have like movement workshops, healing, breath work, different workshops going on depending on who's facilitating for that time. And with the festival, there's events going on all day, right? So you can have yoga at like 7 a.m. or like 7 p.m., 9 p.m., right? Or ecstatic dance, right? So the options are endless and just really depends on what you're looking for. But highlight a few that you're interested in and then go with the flow and see what calls you. Because wherever you are, it's going to be perfect because you can't attend to all of them. I've had days where I've had like 2 workshops in the morning, a 6-hour shift, and like 2 workshops in the evening. I was like, okay, mentally prepared. I want to attend to all of these, right? But yeah, kind of got burnt out towards the end there. Next. Anyways, self-care. Okay, on a 7-day festival like this, self-care, especially if you're camping, especially if you're out all the time, going to all the events, it is a lot in partying until the morning. They have like sunrise sets from like Wednesday to Sunday this last year where music goes until 7 a.m. Okay, it's a lot on your body. Okay, so this is where proper rest, nutrition, hydration is so important when you go to an event like this. And I'll just leave it at that, right? Hopefully it's not your first festival, but if it is, self-care, okay? Grounded presence and listening to yourself, okay? Next. So yes, the workshops are very powerful. And I think this is what makes Envision different from other festivals, because at any festival, you can have different types of music. You can have the beach, outdoor weather, right? But the workshops are very well done. It's high-level facilitators from all around the world who are there to share their knowledge. So at the festival, there's lots of workshops that are available, like yoga, ecstatic dance, conscious conversations, authentic relating, tantra, women's gatherings, right? There's just so much that is available, and it really depends what you're looking for, especially in spiritual development. Taking time to integrate what you've learned after the festivals are so important, and you'll be surrounded by a lot of people on the same journey. All right, so they say a lot of people go to Envision on their own, which I believe, because it's one of those events that it feels like it's very transient, where I've met a lot of people who are like, it's their first time at Envision, because you have to travel to Costa Rica and then you have the workshops there. So I feel like it attracts a certain type of people who are looking for a change in their life, something new, something different. So having said that, with a lot of new people, it's easy to talk to others because a lot of people are on their own. Only met like a couple of people who are like there with their groups, like it was like a bachelor party or something, right? But outside of that, a lot of people I met were on their own. And also, I keep in mind, I talked to a lot of people from work exchange too. So anyways, it's a different kind of group, and people had asked me like, how does it compare to Shambhala, a festival that they have in BC here? And I would say Shambhala has been around for like 20 years, okay? And it has a lot of music, and they've been incorporating more and more workshops. However, with Shambhala, people go consistently, so then you have like more of a community, more consistent base, but that can also be seen as cliquey. Okay, so it just really depends. I like highly recommend both depending on where you are in your life. But with Envision, you can go on your own, go with a couple of friends. You can kind of weave in and out of the schedules. You kind of do your own thing and meet up with people again. Like those are all available options, right? So getting to Costa Rica, I would recommend flying into San Jose and just taking the shuttle from the airport to the festival grounds. Like I looked at taking the Trocopa bus and all that, but I ended up carpooling with someone on the work exchange group. So then it just saved me some time and some headaches of trying to figure out like where to go, right? And San Jose itself, downtown, it's a la basura, okay? It's like, it's not that great. And if you get to San Jose a little bit early, you can stay in Alajuela, which is like the town around the airport. And it'll probably cost you $5 to $10 to get there. I know, for a 10-minute ride. Yeah. Anytime I travel, the taxis is always a thing. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just let it go, okay? I'll just let it go. Anyways, if I were to do the work exchange again, I'd probably volunteer for the pre-event and the mid-event, because so this last time I worked the full mid-event, so I worked 6 of the 7 days I was there. If I were to redo this, I would work the pre-event a couple days before and then a couple days during the event. So this way I can fully enjoy the festival, because some days I was meditating and I'm like, oh, I have to start my shift in 10 minutes, right? So that kind of took away from it a little bit. I couldn't fully relax into the event because I had like work on my mind. And met some wonderful people. We had great connections, great conversation. I'll definitely keep in touch with them. You kind of meet people throughout the event, and some people you're like, hey, this is such a vibe, right? So always grateful for those friends when you're traveling, right? You know who you are. I do recommend the festival if you feel called to go to it. Check it out. People are pretty open and pretty welcoming, right? Wash your hands. People are camping and it gets pretty dirty over 7 days. Yes, that's all I wanted to share about my Envision experience. And if you're looking at going, I recommend it. Just depending on where you are in your life, you feel called to go. I know I'm a new person after the festival. So that's all I have to say. Much love, and until next time. Bye.